If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you running a business is tough. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Join the over 21,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/C-suite. netsuite.com/C-suite.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the homie Kevin.
Good evening, guys. We hope you've had a great day thus far. We thank all of you for listening, tuning in to us, and joining us for another Wednesday night podcast.
Oh yeah. So as always, on Wednesday nights, we're going to continue our overall review of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, continuing our journey with Thor 2, The Dark World.
Indeed.
I was going to say, before we get into the breakdown here, we've had a hell of a time getting things started here.
Oh my gosh, tonight's been horrible.
Tonight's been terrible. So to start things off here, listen, I'm going to go ahead and spoil a little bit here just to get this overall point across.
Sure.
Okay, so the movie itself, I didn't think was really all that bad. I want to go ahead and get this out in the air now because neither Kevin nor myself are in the best of moods right now.
No,
so
we're really not.
If we say some shit that sounds mean or spiteful, we probably don't fully mean it.
This movie was so good. I'm angry.
But we've had a hell of a time tonight. Just getting started even. I mean, even before we started, like tonight, we were both just, kind of in weird moods.
And then life is just being a bitch right now.
Yeah. And then Kevin came over and our weird moods combined to make one giant weird mood.
Exactly.
And then we had a hell of a time recording, had a hell of a time getting the headphones to work. And plus, this is like a lot later than what we usually start at.
It's 10 o'clock here, guys. I mean, at night.
Yeah. On a work night.
Exactly. So we both got shit to do tomorrow, but screw that,
Anyway, I know you guys don't give a flying fuck about that. So
some of you might. I would hope that our fans are starting to care a little bit, just in the sense.
But I understand if you don't.
Exactly. Me too.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys have been at it way better than we have, without life getting in the way or any other bullshit. But here we are tonight. Let's reminisce again on another great movie.
That's right.
Well, another good movie.
Yeah.
Because lately it's been just like... We've been in the lull of the Marvel movies,
That's the thing, Phase 2 doesn't have the greatest start, It has a great finish, not a good start.
I mean, it's like you mentioned a while back ago. It's like if you buy the awesome Tesseract pack of the first arc, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is a hell of expensive pack. Yeah. The second one is significantly less. Am I correct?
Yeah. If you buy like the super packs that come with like the Tesseract or the Power Orb, the whole collector set, and there's a huge price difference between Phase 1 and Phase 2.
But, Phase 1 being the most expensive.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this one.
Let's do it. It's late. Let's jump.
And who knows? Maybe this podcast will cheer us both up, and we probably. I'm sure we'll review the movie, but we're probably
talk about Thor again.
Yeah. And also, something else, I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to go ahead and get this out in the air now.
What?
If you guys truly, really enjoy the character of Thor, and enjoy, and if you really enjoy his movies, then you're in luck, because this is indeed our fourth Thor podcast.
Did you just say that 4 times?
I did.
I know you did. Oh, you son of a dick. That was awesome.
This is number 4, people.
Really is. Out of how many have we had now? We have 28. I lost count. It's 27 or 28.
It's 27 or 28. Yeah, we're one of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for those of you who
that's literally 1/7.
And it is. And for those of you who don't care that much for Thor, we apologize and we thank you for listening still.
And we'll go through this one And we'll be done for a while.
We still have to figure out what the hell to do about Ragnarok.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because technically he is a week.
He is a week in
us and Infinity War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll have a solution for you guys when the time comes. That's going to be like a month and a half away from now.
A month and a half later, we don't know what to do.
We don't know what to do about this podcast.
Yep.
Oh, shit. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing started here.
Let's do it.
So, Thor Dark World was directed by Alan Taylor. And Alan Taylor, he's primarily a TV director. Specifically, he's done a lot of work for HBO series like Sopranos, even Game of Thrones, and a lot of other like really big, impactful shows. He's done a lot of work on those.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And as far as like movies go, I know he's done Thor, and he did one of the Terminator movies. I think he did the one with Jay Courtney and Christian Bale, maybe Terminator, whatever. Salvation, maybe. I think that's the one he did. But anywho, yeah. So he's primarily a TV director, and who knows? Maybe that plays a role as to why this movie feels a little bit different than.
It really did, and that was going to be one of the things I brought up first, because in the point of view that I had with this movie, which kind of accidentally happened, to be frank, as I started watching the movie here, and I won't go into it in such detail, I know that we have our kind of natural format for that, but as I started watching the movie, I started realizing, like, I was coincidentally, and at the same time accidentally, comparing this movie with Ragnarok, which honestly was a whole great experience for me.
Yeah.
Because this movie, the tone is so different, and the whole time I'm just like, because it's so night and day different, the blaring just uniqueness of it was like, whoa, okay, this is like a whole nother experience.
Right.
Yeah, what's going on next, Thor?
Yeah, I feel like Thor 2 can also be called the Forgotten Thor.
Very much so. But because we both talked about that. Like, we had to watch the movie because it was like, whoa, I forgot this scene was here.
Yeah. Well, both Kevin and I completely forgot like a lot of things about Thor 2 as a whole. Like, I just remember watching Thor 2 and I remember thinking, it was okay. But to be honest, it's been so long since either of us have seen it. And so tonight, it's like we got to watch it with a pair of fresh eyes and to really, get more into it and get more out of it. But yeah, so I mean, like you said, you can't really help but to compare it to the other Thor movies,
right?
Specifically Thor 2, because there are one or two similar plot beats that are kind of similar between the two movies. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to get into it here. So my very first note here is we have Malekith, who's played by Christopher Eccleston. He is a tremendous actor. Most of you guys would know him from Doctor Who.
That's a show.
I know him and recognize his brilliance from a little TV show I may have mentioned called The Leftovers.
I knew you were going to say that. You still haven't shown me this show.
I know. We still got to sit down and watch it together. Yeah.
Okay.
He's also in that show too. And it was hard watching him in that show. And for you Whovians out there, it's probably hard watching him in Doctor Who and then realizing that this is the main baddie here in Thor 2. But Malekith here, he is evil because of reasons. Okay,
exactly.
That's my very first note in here. Malekith is evil because of reasons.
Yeah.
So the very first thing we get here is that there's a war between the Dark Elves and the Asgardians because evil Malekith is doing evil shit. Yeah. Trying to destroy the universe and all that good stuff.
Right. I remember watching the beginning of the movie, and they kind of like had a monologue-ish explanation for it. Like the world began in darkness.
Right.
And all of a sudden, like, the Dark Elves are just fascinated with dark so much that as soon as the light turned on, they're just like, yeah, now turn it back off.
Right.
Yeah,
they gave
the world off.
a very vague explanation.
And it's like, well, what the shit? Do they like the darkness? Do they?
Right.
What is this? Yeah.
But also, this was similar to the opening of Thor 1 because Thor 1 also opens with a battle between the Asgardians and the Ice Giants.
Very true.
Also being told to us by Odin. Odin's explaining the story. Odin is explaining the story here again in Thor 2, except we don't see who he's telling the story to in this movie.
No.
And Thor 1, he's telling it to little Thor and little Loki.
Yeah.
But in this movie, he's just, I guess, reciting it to himself just to make sure he remembers it.
Talking to the mirror.
Yeah.
There was a time.
But Odin himself actually wasn't even in this particular battle. It was his father, Bor, and I didn't even realize that Bor was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but here he is. So we get to see a little bit of King Bor, the grandfather of Thor. And so they had a big war, had a big battle. And the Dark Elves, specifically Malekith, he was in possession of something of immense power called the Ether. That's Ether spelled with an A. And
no, I do have a question about that since we already brought it up. I'm gonna slam this out there. The movie, and if I'm not incorrect about the dialogue I recall from the movie made it sound like the Dark Elves created the Ether. That's exactly what the movie said. Like the Dark Elves created the Ether.
You may very well be correct.
But that's a Power Stone.
Yes.
One of the Infinity Stones for this future awesome movie that we're all going to see.
Yes.
So they made a Power Stone. But these Power Stones were all derived from the Eternals. Like, that was talked about in Guardians of the Galaxy, where the Eternals were so powerful that they had to, like, fragment the power into the individual stones. So I was kind of like, wait a minute. They're crisscrossing their lore.
Yeah, you might be onto something. Who knows? Maybe Malekith...
Conspiracy!
Maybe Malekith was full of shit.
Maybe he was. Maybe, like, his grandfather liked him. Yeah. So I was kind of like, wait a second here. Yeah.
That's a really good point you caught on to. I myself... Like, I had such a hard time following what the hell the Ether even is or does.
Well, first off, the Ether by itself looked like it was the Power Gauntlet. Like, the way they were talking about it and stepping up its game, it was like, shit, this is like the best promo for this Power Gem ever.
Well, it was like the greatest hype man, but you don't know what the product is,
right? Until you finally see it in action, and then
even still, you don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Even still, I have no idea what the Ether really is. Like, if I didn't know what Power Stone was supposed to represent, then I have no idea really. Well, as a matter of fact, which Power Gem is this supposed to be? Which Infinity Gem is this supposed to represent?
I feel like this is a trivia question, and you and I both are sitting at the bar with a blank sheet of paper, like, well, shit.
Is it reality?
Potentially.
I feel like it would be reality, but this is just me spitballing here.
Give me a second. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, this is something we need to figure out right now.
I'm gonna Google this right now. Come here, Google. Which Infinity Stone is Ether?
Is it reality or space?
It says it's one of the 6.
Oh, that's real specific.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, the Tesseract was space.
Yeah,
Right?
Oh, wait, the Reality Stone. Let's see here. Oh, okay, yeah, it was reality.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. The Reality Gem took a new form as the Ether, and it converts matter into dark matter, and it has like a lifelike existence. That's why it kind of had that gassy look.
It had like a fluid. Yeah.
Free form, not phloem.
Right.
Phloem is not a thing. I feel like I heard that on a TV show. I don't know. Either way.
Yeah. And long story short, the Asgardians in this flashback scene were able to beat Malekith.
So how do you put a freeform gem into a gauntlet? What?
Well,
I don't know. Well, not to jump into that.
Not jump ahead of ourselves here, but we do see it contained later on in the movie.
Do we?
So yeah,
we do. Mm-hmm. Oh no, we see it in the yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute, or in quite a few. But anyways, what's going on? So that's the war with King Bor and the Asgardians versus Malekith and the other Dark Elves. Malekith, he seemingly sacrifices pretty much all the Dark Elves. Except for his ship worth,
except for like the other people on his main ship, and
those lucky few,
and Algrim the Strong, aka Curse, we see him. He's in this movie, big baddie as well. As a matter of fact, I don't think they ever call him by Algrim though. I don't think they ever give him a name until he becomes Curse. But he is like the main henchman we see by Malekith. That is Algrim the Strong. A pretty prominent dark elf. So yeah, moving on here though. So Malekith loses, and because they're able to get the ether from Malekith before he can use this to his full potential, and I guess the Malekith escapes, so they never really get to destroy him, I guess. And I suppose Bor is also a pretty big liar as well. Because I think that he tells everyone that, yeah, we destroyed the ether, but in reality, he was like, shit, guys, this thing is too powerful. We can't destroy it. Let's bury it. And that's what they do. They bury the ether somehow, somewhere.
Well, if you were in the halls of Valhalla and all the heroes were, freaking looking at you for the recounting of this great tale of this wondrous victory, the one that brought you to the halls of Valhalla, what would you say? What would you tell them? We kind of put the stone away. That's not a victory story.
But shit, though, like, if they know the truth, you can have people guarding it.
It was easier to lie.
It was easier to lie.
Oh, that's so sad. Don't lie, people.
Yeah. Oh, man. But the opening present day scene we see is Loki being brought to justice before Odin. And Frigga, she's there too. And I'm glad to see Frigga back.
Yeah.
Most of her scenes in Thor 1 were deleted scenes, which was pretty unfortunate. But she had a lot more in this movie and really got to know more about the character of Frigga and really her mindset and what she thinks about all of this.
And in doing so, we definitely did later down the road get to learn more about our other characters, which we've already been familiar with, such as Loki and Thor. And,
Yeah, and to me, the overall interactions between Loki, Thor, and Odin, those were still my favorite parts of the movie.
Oh yeah,
similar to Thor 1. It's like Alan Taylor. He realized like what really made Thor 1 such a personal and Thor-like movie was the relationships and these character developments, and he furthers that here in the sequel.
Yeah, no, I remember being very impressed by that in this movie as well.
Yeah,
hopefully Alan, that was his point of view,
right?
But in this movie, it felt very much that Thor was Loki's actual brother here, and it did very much feel that their mother, whom they cared for deeply, was actually their mother, and it was super cool actually seeing familial responses between these actors, and it was awesome. Good,
because it functions as as a really complex relationship, especially with Loki.
Oh my gosh, he's like, they need to take him to what's Jerry Stewart? No shit. What's that TV show where it's like you're the father?
Maury.
Maury.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. That's the old man that has the cue cards and goes, according to the DNA test, whatever, you are not the father.
Their story is dramatic enough that they need to be up on that stage.
Yeah. But this opening scene here, it was a really cool interaction between Loki and Odin, and I thought it was kind of funny because if you remember in this scene here, when all these Asgardian guards bring Loki up, and Loki's he has like the handcuffs on, and Frigga, she comes up and she's trying to talk some sense into her son Loki, and Loki, he's being all brass and cocky and pretending like none of this shit's really getting to him.
Yeah.
And Odin says, "I would like some time alone with my son." And then only Frigga leaves. All the guards stay there.
Right? That's what I was wondering. Like, wait a minute, guys, you didn't hear him, did you?
Oh, like, all right, okay.
Guys, you didn't get the memo. Oh, we're just gonna let this slide. Odin, you cool with this, bro?
I guess he was. Odin, he didn't say anything else. So I was like, all right, okay. But I really love the interaction here between Loki and Odin, because once again, another really cool concept that they kept from Thor 1 and from Avengers is like this relationship between those two, about how Odin he's tried so hard to love Loki and to make him one of his own, and Loki's like, and Loki, his defense in doing what he did, he said, well, Midgard is owed to me. It's my birthright is to be king. And Anthony Hopkins once again does such a phenomenal job as Odin. Comes back with like that quiet, righteous fury, and says your birthright was to be killed at birth.
Yeah,
like shit. And because he's right, because Loki is technically an ice giant or ice midget. Because he's not.
That's true. He was like the different one. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, and Loki, Odin even said, if it wasn't for Frigga, your mother, then
you would have been killed.
Yeah. And he goes, but instead, we're going to lock you in dungeons for the rest of your days. They also say something else interesting here.
What's that?
Loki says, but we are gods, Father. We can be gods to these people. And Odin says, we're not gods. That's just something that the humans call us.
Right. We live, we die. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes back and forth on this so much.
It really does, yeah. Like, sure, amongst themselves they're not gods because they're all one and the same. Yeah. But then I guess whenever you change the point of view of the movie, you're allowed to break that line. Sure, why not? Yeah.
It's just interesting because later on, like, Odin almost contradicts himself, because he's like, we're immortal, and she's just a mortal girl. I'm like, well, now wait a minute now.
No, Odin, you're flopping the field here to play your hand, sir. You're bullshit. What you're saying right now, go back and fix it, son.
Go back and fix that shit. It's not right.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool opening scene, though, between Loki and Odin.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Vanaheim fight. That's when we see Lady Sif and the Warriors 3 and Thor. They're all fighting these people, race of people.
Yep.
They're doing bad shit. Okay.
Yep.
That's all we need to know.
Good enough.
Yep. They are doing very, very bad shit. And I have another note here that says that has got to be one of Korg's people. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, remind me.
So the big ass rock creature that Thor demolishes.
I thought that, at the beginning of the movie, whenever and my thought on that, note one from that moment, he was more intimidating to me than Hulk was in Ragnarok from the freaking arena scene. Like Hulk bursts in and he's just like, all armored up and shit. Like, oh man, this guy's gonna be there. No, he was just like, oh, okay. But then this dude comes on up and he's just like...
my thought was I wish that Korg would have been more like this.
That too.
Minus the quick death that Thor gives to this guy. I was about to say,
he's just like, so I accept your surrender. Kaboosh! Yeah. Rock shower.
Yeah. And it really reminded me because actually, guys, if you go back and listen to the Thor, not the Thor, but the first Hulk podcast that we did, there's a section in that podcast where we talk a little bit about Planet Hulk. And there's a scene where Korg, he's talking with Hulk and Meek and the rest of the gang about his first encounter with Thor. He and his people thought that Thor was just a human that came to their planet, and they tried to take him down, and Thor promptly dealt with all of them quite easily. And this scene kind of reminded me of that. Like, I wonder if this was supposed to be like some kind of
it was his father. My father was a pile of rocks after I saw him. He was just smashed on the ground.
Well, shit, that would make sense.
Right? Yeah. There you go, Ragnarok. Free dialogue.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Tell me how that accent was. What was your opinion on the accent?
It went a little...
How many stars would you give it?
I'd give it 2.5.
Okay, that's good enough. Yeah.
Out of 10.
You dick. I was waiting for you to say like 4 or 5. I was hoping 4, expecting 5. I got 10. Now I'm gonna practice all night long.
Yeah, but anyways, this creature, before Thor killed it with one hit, it looked intimidating, which was his purpose. Unfortunately, Korg never came off as intimidating or as anything really. And listen, before we continue on here, guys, I know that sometimes I sound bipolar when I speak of Ragnarok. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But hear me out here. I want to say this one last time, once and for all. But Ragnarok is an entertaining movie, but it has some serious flaws in it. And whenever I harp on the movie, it's the flaws that I'm harping on, not the movie as a whole. Okay. So and Korg was one of the serious flaws in the movie. Korg, Meek, Sakaar. Shit, now sometimes I'm talking about the whole movie.
Well, that's okay, We've iterated this a few times now where, honestly, and I'm just going to say it blatantly, in the Ragnarok cast, we kept talking about how it was a fun movie, it was entertaining, there were funny parts, there were a lot of funny parts, but talking about it now, well after Ragnarok, I'm just going to be fair to everybody and just say blatantly, I didn't like the movie that much. if I want a fun, dumb movie, I'll go watch it again. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
If I want a comic movie, I'm going to go to, like, freaking Civil War or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you know, in this... Because when you watch Thor 2 here, because like you said, you can't help but to compare it to Ragnarok. Right. And like tonally, the differences are night and day.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's
because
like
the tone... One thing that this movie did get right, because there are a lot of things that this movie didn't get right, but one thing that this movie did get right was the tone. Yeah. The tone and the characters it got right. Now the villain...
Oh, no, that was off.
Yeah, the villain and, like, the role of the ether and that whole plot, not so much. But the tone and the characters and the development, spot on.
Oh, yeah. Like, the tone of this movie was like Thor meets freaking, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, Ragnarok is Thor meets his own sitcom.
Yeah, that's very true.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Ragnarok, it did no favors to the characters of Thor or Hulk or any of the supporting characters, to be honest.
Sorry, Valkyrie. You should have been inducted in the second movie.
You should have been, Valkyrie. You should have been. I mean, I think she fared better than most. Her and Hela, I think, fared the most out of Ragnarok. Most people didn't.
Oh. And our boy freaking Idris Elba.
Yeah, Heimdall. Yeah. I think that he like fared better than anyone.
Dude, if you ask me which movie he was the most badass in, it's just like, dude, in Thor, all of Thor, he's just the most badass entity.
He just gets more badass as the movies go on. Yeah,
like he just has to be on camera and on screen, and you're just like, oh, what's about to happen?
Yeah,
oh, what's good?
Yeah, Heimdall remains Heimdall throughout this Thor trilogy, and that's great.
And that's another thing that I was pleasantly surprised about. We'll get to the scene in detail in a minute here, I'm sure, but whenever he came up on screen for the one big scene he had, I was just kind of like, oh shit, I forgot he did this. This man is the bomb. If I had to make a dream team, he earned a spot, son. He's on the team.
Yeah, he's as powerful and as all-seeing as he is duty and honor bound. You know? Like he loves his job and he holds it in high regard.
In very high regard, as we saw. Yeah. He's the shit.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, where we leave off that? Oh, yeah, about one of Quark's people being killed.
Oh, yeah. Douche.
Yep. My next note here is, man, Odin's trying to hook up Thor and Lady Sif. He's trying hard.
Yeah, he did. He was pushing it like,
he was like,
why don't you try for something a little closer to home?
A little closer to home. And then he pretty much like nudge, wink with his one good eye.
Exactly. Like the one thing he could have done to make that any less subtle was to slide him a hotel room key.
Right, yeah. Well, why don't you take her up to the suite tonight, my son?
See if the bed works, you know. It's like, okay, Dad.
He leans into Thor and goes, the acoustics are great up there.
Oh my gosh. Lady Sif is like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Sif was giving him the eye all throughout this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's kind of funny because during the Thor 1 review, I remember we talked about, you know, could there be anything possible between Thor and Sif?
Right.
And, you know, this movie definitely furthers that. Once again, Thor... fucking Ragnarok, man, does away with the Sif.
I know, right? There's this awesome potential thing. Douche.
It does away with the Sif love plot and the Jane Foster love plot.
Yeah. Yes.
It's about Valkyrie now, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, though, back to Thor 2. Yeah. So yeah, Odin, you know, he's trying to tell Thor, you know, hey, you need to forget about that woman from that mortal. You know what? She's gonna live 100 years compared to your 5,000. You know, I mean, which when you put it in that way, I kind of.
I mean, at that point, he's got a point.
Yeah, you know? it'd be like you know, you getting married to this beautiful woman, but you know that she's gonna die in like 3 months. I'm like, Kevin.
Yeah. I mean, and there are people out there that have done things of that nature, and that's cool. You know, that's awesome. But the point still stands. You know you're getting married to someone that's not going to be there as long as you.
Right, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't even be that way. It'd be like you marrying someone who not only dies in like 3 months, but every day you wake up, they are noticeably older.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Because Thor would always be Thor, and then eventually he's just kind of like going to the nursing home. It's like, hey, how you doing today?
Yeah,
are you good?
It'd be like Captain America and Peggy, you know?
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And then they both can go to the same nursing home. The timeline would have to skew itself a little bit, but still.
That's true.
Oh. Sorry, Natalie.
Yeah. Oh shit. Anyways, so in that same regard, though, Jane Foster, she's also having a hard time with her dating life too. Her dating life is sucking right now, pretty hard.
Some British guy.
Yeah, she's in
Richard.
Yeah, his name was Richard. Yeah,
Richard.
She's in a restaurant.
Dick.
She's in a restaurant with this guy named Richard, and bless his heart, he's trying.
Bless his daggum heart.
He's trying, man.
It's like he's spitting game at a brick wall.
Right,
just like,
and I wouldn't even say that he's doing anything wrong per se. It's just like she's just not into you, man.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's like it's not you, man. It really isn't this time.
And he even guesses
it's one of those rare instances.
I mean, he even correctly guesses that so it's another guy that you hung up on. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's another god that she's hung up on. Like you can't compare to Thor. If you saw her
now
old
boyfriend, remember, quote unquote,
not
God.
Yep, that's right. You're right.
Quote unquote. But as you were saying, please, you're going on something funny.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that. So poor Richard, he's doing everything he can, and Jane's not giving him the time of day. She's there, but she's not there.
What was it? She just kind of got stuck on sea bass.
Yeah. Eventually, Darcy, old Darcy, she comes by, and Darcy is still very much Darcy. I do really like the character of Darcy.
You know what her voice sounds like? Give me a second. I'm going to look up this person's name because they're a great voice actress.
Kat Dennings. Oh, that's the actress that played Darcy.
Right, yeah, no, Kat Dennings, her voice. Yeah. Okay, give me a second. Cool. Her voice sounds a lot like Christian Skull's voice. The woman who played Carol in Last Man on Earth. She's a great voice actress.
Yeah, I don't think her voice is quite that screechy.
No, not there. But it's like this. Like Kat Dennings could be her kid. Well, I don't know. I don't know the age relations there at all. So please forgive me if they're not that sparse. But yeah.
But yeah. So essentially, Jane right now she's having a hard time with her dating life. She's still really stuck on Thor. Apparently, I guess in this timeline, it's been about 2 years since they've seen each other. I don't know if that matches up or not.
I think so.
Yeah, well, I think it's been 2 years since he's been to Earth, and maybe that's what they meant. But
okay.
But yeah, so Darcy comes up and she's like, "Hey, Dr. Selvig's got some new cool information. There's some strange readings coming around, and we haven't really seen these readings since your last boyfriend showed up." And Jane, she eventually, she leaves. Richard even tells her to leave, and that's how you know the date's over.
Exactly.
Like, go. You need to go be with your friend.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's bravo for this fake character's, maturity at this date. Just like, look, just go. I know you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly having fun myself.
Right.
Like, just leave. I'll get my damn sea bass.
Yeah. Because you're not doing anything for me right now.
Like Richard was on that adult level. Like, it's cool. I get it. Go do your science shit.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And I feel bad for poor Richard.
Yeah, but he deserved a hand for how he handled that.
Yeah. Good on you, Richard. Good on you. This isn't the last time we see Richard in this movie, though. We see him again.
Oh, poor Richard.
Yeah.
It's like he was a tool in a tool bag. Hand me the Richard. No. One size smaller. There it is.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
so Dr. Selvig, he has lost his shit and his clothes.
And you already said clothes, damn it. I was gonna say pants.
That would be part of the clothes.
That would be part of the clothes. That'd be all the
nothing. So they show us Dr. Selvig, who is at Stonehenge, and he's running around butt ass naked with some science equipment in his hands, like just spouting off crazy shit out of the mouth that no one can comprehend.
Admittedly, he looked like he was having a perfectly fine time, just not even caring, like free balling.
No, because it does, reach the question, like, before you see this movie, thinking, I wonder what state of mind Dr. Selvig is in after being mind controlled by Loki. Well, this is that state.
He put it pretty well in his own words. Like, I had a god in my brain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care to what quality of god that person was, quote unquote, whatever bullcrap. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Dr. Selvig, he's still not quite right.
Yeah.
I mean, his knowledge and intelligence is definitely still there, but like his, I guess his ability to...
It's like his connectivity to this world.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little severed. Yeah. It's not quite there. So Darcy and Jane, they follow this little radar tracking device they have, and they lead them to this building, this abandoned-looking building. They go in this building, and there's also Ian. Ian
he showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, Ian was in the back seat of the car that Jane and
Ian, the intern's intern.
Yeah.
I think they did that on purpose for the alliteration.
Maybe so. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah,
I don't know.
Ian is this new guy here. He's kind of an airhead. He is Darcy's intern, so indeed he is the intern's intern.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the shit?
Intern? Wait, what?
Yeah.
So you're intern squared,
right?
Okay. How's that position feel?
Right. I guess fine to him. He didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah. I guess in that case, he could be like the official gopher. Like, hey, go for this, go for that, go get me that.
Give me your shoe. Yeah.
Give me your shoe. Yeah.
But so yeah, the three of them go into this abandoned building that their tracking device leads them to, and they come across these this group of kids, and the kids, as if they're the cops. Jane replies, scratch that, I'm a scientist. And the kids lead them to this weird Twilight Zone-esque bullshit.
Right. It's like this magical place all of a sudden where it's like, whoa, okay. Let me flip a truck.
All I have here in my notes for this is a no physics fire truck.
Yeah. Which looked really cool.
It looked really cool, yeah. I wouldn't know what to make of it. Like, if I saw this in reality, I wouldn't know.
Dude, are you kidding me? My first thought would be like, okay, I'm going to run and drop kick that. I'm going to see if it breaks through the wall or what happens to it, okay? Your job is recorded. Get your cell phone out!
The problem with no physics, and don't get me wrong, for everyone listening, I'm dumb as a box of rocks, okay? I just need to go and get that out here
dude.
now. Like what you hear me speaking on now, like comic books, that's my realm, okay? Anything beyond that, I'm dumb.
Well, I don't know about dumb. We're inexperienced in that. You're inexperienced in physics. I don't know physics either, so whatever you say, I'm just going to be like, okay.
Well, I was just going to say that, that, especially in this capacity, since they don't even know what's causing the no physics fire truck, if you were to run and drop kick this truck, who knows what would happen to you? Like,
I go through the damn truck like Kitty Pryde, like, oh gosh, you push the truck, get me out of here. I don't know.
There's no telling.
At that point, actually, if I force myself on the truck and I get stuck inside, and you force yourself on the truck,
I want you to think about how dirty what you just said sounded.
Fire truck.
Why are you molesting this fire truck? Why are you forcing yourself on this fire truck, Kevin?
It flipped, man. It was flipping.
The fire truck did not consent to this.
Originally, and then out of content, I'd have a weird problem with this conversation.
And then you said you get stuck. I'm like, well, shit, Kevin. You forced yourself on the fire truck, and now you're stuck.
That's what the olive oil is for.
Oh, shit. What the shit?
I'm sorry. We're going to move on from this. This is getting weird. Yeah. Even for us.
Even
this
for
is
us,
weird.
It's getting weird. Yeah. I just want to end this by saying you started it. So
I did accidentally start it. This is right. I will not force myself.
I'm going to keep you away from all emergency vehicles from here on out.
We go outside of the movie or something next week. How long? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Okay, so we go see flickering Black Panther in 2 weeks, and all of a sudden it's like there's a fire truck out in the front, and you're just like, no, Kevin, and you're like, push me down or some shit. Like, no, get away from that fire truck. It's innocent.
Yeah, sorry guys, he can't be around fire trucks. He's good around firemen, but fire trucks, no, that's no go. Anyways. Moving on here. So Jane, she continues to follow the tracking device, and they do this weird thing where they drop like a brick or a bottle down and the stairwell.
What was that bottle of? I saw that thinking what are these kids rocking a daggum Coguama? Or I'm sorry, a 40 liter? Like what?
It looked like maybe some kind of European soda. That's what I thought.
Oh, that's
a
true.
bottle of
Like
soda.
Italian soda or
Right.
something. Yeah, that stuff's pretty good. Yeah. But it's like, hey, let me take this big bottle of soda and just like chuck it. Like,
Yeah.
who said let's do this in the first place?
Oh, they're kids.
Yeah,
So,
touche, yeah.
kids do weird stuff like that. And they
Cool.
they drop this bottle off, and then it kind of falls down, but then it comes back down through like above them.
Right. It just keeps falling in the eternal
like if
fall.
you guys played the game Portal, then you know exactly what I'm talking about here.
Right, yeah.
It's the same kind of concept, except there is no portal, no visible portal.
No. There's the invisible orange portal down here and the invisible blue portal up here. Yeah.
Except the problem is some things that they drop don't come back, and they have no idea where these things go to.
Were those the car keys? Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Yep. So the next scene here, Jane, she continues to follow the tracker, and it leads her. She keeps walking down this hallway, and she goes through one of these invisible portals. And I guess she comes to the space between space. Is what I just called it.
Right. She basically Rick and Morty the situation a little bit. Like she just accidentally.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I walked through the door, and now I'm in between.
Yeah. And she comes across.
She was in the upside down.
Oh shit! Well, there were no demigorgons.
There
here.
were no demigorgons. There was no 11.
There's no 11. There's no Will.
If she shaved her head, she could have been older 11. I don't even regret this. Natalie Port.
Yeah.
We have an idea here for a few seasons later of Stranger Things.
We're gonna move on down here.
I'm proud of myself.
So
Hire me for casting.
Jane comes in contact with the ether, and she kind of absorbs it. But while she's in this state, while she's in this other plane of existence that we don't really know where she's at, Heimdall and Thor are talking, and Heimdall, he realizes that he can't see Jane. Like out of the 10 trillion souls that he can see, he cannot see Jane. And that causes...
By the way, Heimdall is a bro for even caring.
Yeah.
All right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. For Thor being able to come up and say, so, how is she?
Yeah.
Like, kind of like almost creepy stalking her, you know? And then Heimdall's like, bruh, she's okay. She's just doing her science thing. I'm seeing her right now. She's cool. Like, that's a level of broship, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, she's gone, dude. I have no readings on her. She's gone. Yeah.
And that brings me to my theory that Heimdall is Santa Claus.
Ho, 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 from Asgard.
Yes. Yes.
Here's looking at you, Idris.
Yep. And this causes Thor to immediately go down to Earth. By the way, the Bifrost Bridge is fixed. We learned that back in the earlier scene
Good
when
for
they're
them.
on Vanaheim.
I want to know who
Vanaheim.
the construction crew is, because they did an awesome job.
Oh yeah. Well, Thor does fight a group of guys called the Wrecking Crew. They're these ordinary guys who obtain Asgardian powers one day.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that comic. Yeah. We need the opposite of them though, because it was already wrecked.
Okay, so moving on here. Once Heimdall says he can't see Jane, Thor immediately goes down, and just as Jane comes back, and then we get the Thor and Jane reunion.
Yeah.
And
Jane is waterproof.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's like no water falling on Jane or Darcy, and for this one part, like there's like a barrier around her almost. And they don't really seem to notice that until much later.
Yeah, like she never noticed it at all.
Yeah,
but it's like raining, pouring hard, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden it's like, oh wait, I have this perfect radius of no rain, dry around
Right.
me. Okay.
Yeah. Upon seeing Thor, she runs to him like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're back. And then she immediately slaps the shit out of him.
Douche.
Twice.
It's like, boo, oh, you're real. Okay.
Yeah.
Douche, that's for not coming to see me.
Yeah. You even came back to New York, you dick, and you didn't see me. I saw you on TV.
Yeah. I saw you flying up the Empire State Building and shocking stuff.
Oh man, but Thor he has a good explanation. Look, I've been trying to protect the 9 realms, all of them. Okay?
And she even recognizes it like,
Yeah.
what she said. Well, as far as excuses go, yeah.
I guess that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And because her and Darcy were trespassing, the police like, yeah, you guys are going to jail. And as soon as he touches Jane, freaking...
Yeah, ether shockwave awesomeness.
Yeah, just this huge ass shockwaves emits from Jane and then causes some destruction.
And I took note here because, I don't know, I'm not trying to piece the movie together, but I'm trying to build myself with like I don't know what you would call it, like an anticipation, maybe a strategic mindset of what the hell our boy Thanos is going to be completely capable of with all this power. I'm wondering if such a shockwave is also going to be like emanating from him sometimes, where all of a sudden he's just like, oh, reality time, boosh, and just reenacts this old shockwave, a throwback to this.
I think it'd be more similar to how Melkith uses it.
That makes sense, because Melkith had a more powerful version of it,
He had like mastery over it, and his body could handle it.
Right, because, dark elf tools made from dark elves.
Makes sense, yep.
But now it's going to be like, oh, well, I'm better than dark elf, I'm a titan, so...
Yeah, not only that, but I'm a mutated titan.
With better titan powers, so this is nothing.
Yeah, I thought about that too, like how Thanos is going to use all these.
Yeah,
because just from one of the it wasn't a trailer, but it was quote unquote leaked footage.
Oh, okay.
That Marvel leaked out, maybe a month or so ago. I remember watching that thing. This is really good for leaked footage, and seeing the Guardians go up to the Collector's base, sneaking around. And we hear Thanos' voice, and we see the Collector on the ground, and Thanos is trying to get the
reality, because that's what's left there.
Yeah. No, wait.
Yeah, no, he had the reality.
Well, yeah.
Which is the ether. Yeah. Because the power is what's taken.
No, you're right.
Purple was power.
Yeah.
I remember the alliteration.
Yeah. Purple power.
Purple power.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is funny because there's a quote in the movie at the very end, and we'll talk about this in greater detail, where they even say it's, it'd be dumb to keep two of these together. And it's like, well, think about this time frame here, guys. Yeah. Anyways.
So moving on here. Let's see. Thor. He realizes, okay, there is something seriously wrong with my estranged girlfriend. So he takes
she
her.
Exploded.
Yeah, she exploded, but she's fine, kind of. He takes her to Asgard, and Jane loves the Bifrost Bridge. Like, to me, it would freak me the fuck out, but she loved it.
Yeah. Like, whoa, what was that? That was so much fun.
Yeah. As far as Asgardians go, Heimdall was probably one of the nicer ones to Jane.
He was super cool. Like, oh, hey, you're here, mortal. What's going on?
Hello there, mortal.
You're easier to see.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe she's not. Maybe you can see her just fine from where he's at.
That's true. Like, he could have seen her, and then he's like, oh, shit, she's coming pretty fast. Oh, she's on the way here. Yeah. It's like staring at a baseball flying for your face.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But this baseball stopped and said, hey.
Yeah. So what happens next is that they take Jane to like the Asgardian doctors, and they're using their magical science stuff, and Jane is looking at it from a scientific perspective as to what they're doing, and they're pretty much diagnosing her. Yeah.
There's a quantum
something
molecular something
structured science.
We're good at sciencing.
Oh, we're great at sciencing. Anyways, these Asgardian doctors, like, they kind of see what's going on, but not really. They really don't know what's happening here. Odin comes in, looks at her, and my next note here is Odin is a racist.
Yep.
He calls this first. First there's the small detail earlier when we said how Odin was like, you don't need to worry about this mortal girl. You need to get
yourself an Asgardian.
Yeah. And I'm like, my first thought was, now wait a minute, Odin. Let this man love who he wants to love. If he wants to love a mortal woman, you let him love a mortal woman. Yep. If he wants to love an Asgardian, let him love an Asgardian. Right? But here he's like, Odin's just not having any of this shit now.
It's like, you need to go home. You have your own medical people you call doctors.
Yeah. You don't bring a goat to the dinner table, do you? Like, damn.
I know, right? It's like, shit, son.
I'm like, right to her face. Don't get me wrong. That's not a damn thing she can do against Odin.
Did you just call me a goat?
Yeah. Who the hell do you think you are? I am Odin, king of Asgard. Oh, hey.
She handled herself quite well in the face of all this monarchy.
Yeah. But yeah, so Odin, he realizes the energy seems a little bit familiar, and he opens up this old ancient book, I suppose that his father put together, King Bor, I guess. And Odin's like, well, I know what's happening to you. Somehow you've come in contact with the ether. And she's like, okay, cool. What do we need to do? I have no idea. Your mortal body can't handle it. You're still going to die. See you later.
Basically, like, well, this is diagnosed. I did my job. Go home.
Yeah, go home. Get out of here.
Yeah. Don't be here when you blow up.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess Odin doesn't freak out at this point because his father, once again, King Bor, told him that, the ether's gone and all the dark elves are dead. The
victor writes the history, and that was not an accurate history.
Yeah. That is very much the case.
Yeah.
Next scene I have down here is where Frigga goes to visit Loki in his little prison to give him some books. And, it's obvious that she still has a mother's love for Loki. She still really cares about him a lot. She knows that he's flawed. It's just like any mother that has troubled children. Yeah, he's not perfect, but, I still love him. He's still my son, and da-da-da.
Right, yeah.
And she's very much that kind of mother towards Loki here. She knows that he's not going to get out, but she does still want redemption for him. She still wants growth for him. She still wants, some form of relationship, because to her, Loki is still very much her son.
Right.
I really like this scene a lot here, though, because even though Loki tries to show no emotion towards her, like Frigga doesn't. She sees right through that. What's up?
Oh, I just thought of something stupid. I have to share it.
Oh, okay.
So imagine Jan doing this situation, just like telling Loki, she may have not been your mother, but she's your mama.
Oh, God. God damn it.
I'm not sorry at all. Tell me that wouldn't fit. Tell me that doesn't fit.
Okay, I'll give you that one. It does fit. And
thank you.
That does very much fit.
Thank you. That's a premonition of our next episodes on Wednesday. But yeah. Okay, again, I'm proud of myself. I'm good for that one.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm pretty sure you all got that reference. Yondu, Guardians 2.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Shit.
Where's my water? I gotta stop. What were you saying?
Out of all the times you have bullshitted your way through that was one of the best ones.
Thank you.
Yeah. I will give you that one.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. So the next scene we get here is, and once again, one of my main problems here with this movie is the whole villain subplot. Like, I don't understand the motive really behind the Dark Elves, and I don't understand how or why they do certain things. Like in this scene, for example, when Melkith goes up to Algrim, who I don't think they ever really call him Algrim, his right-hand man, basically, and goes, you will be the curse that blah, 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 I need you to be.
Right. Just kind of like stabs him and says, put this in your system.
Yeah, he gives him this weird rock. What was that?
I remember they used it at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
it was
to make a different curse look like.
Right. It was basically like a self-augmentation thing. Like it tears you apart and rebuilds you in a super sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like a bad evolution of sorts.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like, okay, but this is a saving grace. Once this is up, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's basically what they gave him. Like, okay, you're a big dude. You should be able to take this well. Good luck.
Yeah.
Go be a bomb in the prison.
Yeah. And Curse is now created, and like Kevin said, Curse is this huge monstrosity of a creature with immense power and durability, and he
punches force fields.
Yeah, until they break.
Yep.
And out of all the places for him to arrive at Asgard, don't know why he arrived in the prison, but he did.
I think he was just dressed as a basic soldier, and they just put a bunch of them in like POWs, like prisoners of war. Yeah.
I thought that he got like teleported in there or something.
No. He was transported there. Yeah, like they brought him and a crew of them in, saying that these are all just common grunts. But he was disguised as one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he had on, like they gave him the helmet and everything. Yeah.
Oh,
but it was
why did he wait to get into the prison then to make his move?
so he can bust out, cause a bunch of chaos. Bust up a bunch of other prisoners and have them all cause some chaos.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like break it from the inside.
Yeah.
Except
he left Loki inside.
Yeah, who probably would have been able to cause the most chaos as the god of chaos.
Yeah.
But whatever. I take the stairs to the left.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
he obeyed.
Yeah. These Asgardians were not ready for Curse at all.
No.
He has his way with them. He has like a death touch that he uses, like...
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see it work that often in the movie, but in this moment it was cool.
Yeah.
Because he does it later on to someone of importance, and it doesn't activate. It doesn't do it. Like, he just doesn't turn it on. And we'll talk about that in detail here, yeah. But no, for these immediate prisoners, or these guards he grabbed, you're just like, thermal grip, activate! And their throats melted.
Right.
Yeah.
And this plot worked as a really good diversion because Thor's having to deal with a lot of these prisoners now, trying to put them back up and all that, trying to take care of them. So this following scene here now, there's obvious anarchy and chaos all throughout Asgard now, with the dark elves being there and the prisoners being set free. Thor and the guards are doing what they can, but Odin is like, okay, I'm taking a group of men and we're gonna go handle this shit. He looks to his wife Frigga and says, okay, and Frigga has Jane with her and goes, okay, you guys, stay back, take care of yourselves, stay out of this trouble, blah blah blah. And as Odin is leaving with his men, Sif walks by and Sif gives this eat shit look to Jane Foster.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
and she notices.
Yeah, oh yeah. I was like, no matter what planet you're from, I feel like every female knows what that look is.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing? That judgmental look.
Like, oh, so you're the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the chosen. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the mortal that my man has fallen in love with. That's kind of the look she was getting. She's like,
Yeah. There was no mutual respect. Like, Jane was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, because Sif is a warrior, so I think that she looked at Jane and was like, she can't even defend herself.
Right, yeah. She did not hold her in the same value.
Yeah,
definitely.
no. I bet she can't even make it to 2,000 years before she dies.
I bet she couldn't either, Seth. I'm willing to put money for that one. I can't wait the 2,000 years. But yeah.
Right. That'd be a long bet you'd be waiting to get.
Well, if she dies before me, I get the money.
Okay. The Dark Elves have some ugly ass ships.
They really do.
They have some ugly, impractical ships.
So, I'm going to make a reference to a franchise I don't know as well as I know these.
Okay.
Didn't Boba Fett have a ship just shaped similar to that? Like, but he had like an awkward... Give me a second. I'm going to look up an image of this. And I know there's some Star Wars fan out there who's either saying, yeah, he kind of did, or, no, what? Stop referencing him. Yeah.
I do not know. Do not know at all. It is a good thing that we're not the Star Wars homies because we don't know this canon as well.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Okay. See the shape of it? It was like it's all vertical.
I kind of see. Yeah.
Okay. It was all like a lowercase t flying.
Right.
Yeah. And Boba Fett's here. I'm sure is a much smaller one, but same thing.
Yeah.
If you have to have an elevator in your ship,
right,
and it's not like a big ass powerful ship, it's just that tall. Your ship is impractical. Yeah.
These ships were very much impractical.
Right.
But they also function as like flying swords as well.
Basically, like, and we're gonna land.
Yeah, well, like they would slice through buildings and through like enemy fighter jets and all that.
Right. Which, is kind of cool.
Yeah. But it literally feels like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Right. A really big-ass knife.
I'm guessing maybe they're thinking, if they're more that narrow, they'd be harder to hit with gunfire.
Maybe so. But they also did have guns, too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, okay. Because this movie did kind of hit up the spaceshipy scene more so, definitely.
Yeah. So now there's like a full-on assault from the Dark Elves. They are all up in Asgard right now. So the next scene here, Frigga, she takes Jane Foster like to this back room, and of course Malekith, he makes his way back there, and he's playing this card really calm and cool, and but Frigga's not having any of it, so we get a fight between Frigga and Malekith. And I thought it was a really, really cool scene, really fun scene. Malekith, I don't think was trying his best, because I don't think he expected that he needed to.
Right. At this point, he was the egotistical villain, where it's like, oh, this is my domination. This is game over. Oh crap! No. But
Frigga, she held on pretty good. I mean, I guess like you're not going to be an Asgardian queen unless you know a thing or two. She.
Plus, she seemed to also have similar illusion abilities to Loki.
Yeah, that's probably where Loki learned it from. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, that's a good point. Picking up after the
because
mother's trade.
even later on, Thor said something along the lines of, "You have mother's tricks, I have her trust." So I think that would this probably explains that. But yeah, she does have similar illusion techniques to Loki,
and like short sword using. She was kind of cool, like a little badass for Asgardian queen. And you're just like, whoa, okay, woman can fight,
right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And she's doing pretty good up until Curse makes an appearance.
Until he cheats.
Curse comes up and she all but gives up. I mean, you can't really blame her.
Yeah, and this is where the thermal grip didn't happen. Like, notice they didn't thermal grip her.
No, because he didn't grab her by the throat. He held her hostage.
There you go. See, thermal grip doesn't work for the inner elbow. No.
I also think it works on concentration as well. Like, you have to be something that you want to do.
I can see that.
Think that is
kind of like,
Okay.
Yeah. That doesn't need a metaphor. Sure.
So while Curse has Frigga captured, Malekith tries to go ahead and snatch up Jane, and then he realizes, shit, she's not really here. Jane is just an illusion.
Dun dun dun.
Yep, dun dun. And then he goes to Frigga and says, "Where the hell is she?" He doesn't say that, but he wanted to.
Right. He said equivalent of in Dark Elf
in
manner.
Dark Elfish. Yep, in Dark Elven, he said that. and Frigga, she smiles and she's like, "I'm not telling you. I'll never tell."
Yep.
And she gets killed by Curse.
I believe you.
Yeah, I believe you. Yep. And as soon as she gets stabbed through the back, Thor,
man, he's just like
Thor makes the scene, and he hits Malekith in the face with a hard ass lightning bolt right to the face.
Yep.
Right to the face. I mean, his face was burnt. Like, half of that face was just...
He was Two-Face.
He was Two-Face at that point. Curse and Malekith immediately get the hell out of there. And, And at that point, the Dark Elves, they leave Asgard. They went there for Jane because that's where the ether is. It's inside Jane. They couldn't find her. The boss just got hit in the face with a hard bolt of lightning. They're going to retreat, but everyone knows that they're just going to come back later.
Yep.
So the next scene really is just the funeral scene for Frigga.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty touching scene here. Everybody's pretty shaken up and upset about it. Even Loki, which I thought was really...
That's what I was about to say next, because this is definitely one part of the movie that shows not only a darker, more realistic tone, even something more relatable, but it also shows the continuing depth of our characters. Like, we actually see an emotional response from Loki that isn't the villain we saw in the first movie or Avengers or anything like that.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to look at any of their deleted scenes, but I wonder and hope that there were more scenes between Frigga and Jane. Just kind of for her to see the woman that her son fell in love with.
Right. That'd be appropriate.
Yeah.
Or maybe a deleted scene where it's like Frida and Odin both were approaching her, just kind of like tag teaming her. Like, oh shit, this poor mortal.
I get the feeling that Frigga liked Jane a lot more than Odin did.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel
Odin's all goat. Like, come on, man. Yeah.
I mean, because there's even a scene before this happens where Jane and Thor are talking, and then Frigga walks up and she kind of has a smile on her face, and when she sees Jane, leads me to believe that she, once again, she's a mom's mom. She really wants the best for her kids and all that good stuff. So, but Loki, it kind of happens quietly almost. There's music playing and like a guard comes over to Loki's cell and tells Loki what happened, and Loki kind of nonchalantly nods it off, and as the guard walks away, Loki turns around, he just lets out a little bit of anger just to blast everything in his room, just to show that he is mourning for his mother. He is torn up about it.
I mean, he did. It's cool because we see not only his emotional reaction, but we also see a depth of this character that shows his reluctance. You know, his need to do emotion privately rather than to react in the moment. Like, he's just like, okay, thank you. Guard's obviously gone. He turns and he just kind of lets loose and almost opens up literally at that point, and we see that again later on, but until then, like his illusions like really play a big factor into who he is, because I think he's always trying to hide himself. He's damn good at wearing a mask.
He really is. And he wears that mask really well.
Plus he can make more.
Next we have the scene back on Earth here with Dr. Selvig, and at first you can't really tell where he's at. Is he in the classroom? Is he at the teaching somewhere?
Right, you just see the chalkboard.
Yeah, just see the chalkboard, and this man is spitting a whole bunch of jargon and sciencey terms and shit that I really can't understand, but he's basically displaying the movie. He's basically explaining what's happening.
The convergence.
Convergence and all that cool stuff. And when it's all said and done, he asked the what we assume to be like the audience, are there any questions? And we see like some old people and some people who maybe aren't all there mentally. And we see Stan Lee, who asked for his shoe back,
which is a cool cameo.
Yeah, it was a cool cameo.
Can I have my shoe?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that was a cool one. This is another cameo that I forgot about.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
So the next scene here is, so Thor is talking with, he's talking with Heimdall, and maybe I missed something there. I probably did, but I think that Thor like immediately contradicts himself, because he's talking with Heimdall, and he's like, and Heimdall's like, if you want me to do something against the king's will, I can no longer do that. I can't do anything else for you. And Thor's like, no, I don't need you to do that. I need you to do something else for me, which is to break the king's will.
Essentially, just in a more wrapped around manner.
Well, in a more direct freaking manner almost.
I need you to invite the king to your, your gate. By the way, we skipped to the scene where Heimdall took out an entire ship by himself. Whenever the Armada first came. Whenever the wanted to give him the love. So freaking Heimdall here, he's just like, supervision, awesome guardian, most loyal bastard on the whole daggum Asgardian planet, and then he's just like, almost like a wolf sense, like he's just going up and sniffing, like, I see something. And he just runs. He's just like, in that heavy ass gold armor.
Scaling pillars and shit.
And like running up what looked like the almost San Francisco bridge, like little cableway there. Just and he like jumps out and stabs it with something. It wasn't his sword. What was that?
I don't know.
It's like he had a smaller short sword or something. He's just like, douche, and stabs this big ass tall ship that was supposedly invisible to every other naked eye. And then just it goes down and he jumps off and he's fine. It's just like, this man took out a whole ship by himself. And at that moment, that's when I said, you know what? If I had a dream team, you could be on it, son. You'd be the guardian of the team. Like, I don't need anything else. You there.
Heimdall's a badass.
He really is. But going back to this scene, you're right. Thor was kind of like, hey, I need you to do something for me. It's not against the king, but it's against the king.
And so they commence with the breakout scene here. They free Loki from prison, and Thor goes up, and Loki standing there, looking as regal as he always tries to look, and for once Thor sees right through the illusion and says, no more tricks, brother. And Loki, he lets down his guard, and he shows that he's a mess. Like he's really just a mess.
Like his hair's let down, and he's all dirty, and his room's all filthy and covered in. Yeah,
the room is a mess. Like just
it shows emotional torment.
Right. And Loki or Thor says, I'm not here to mourn the death of Mother right now. I'm here so you can do something that can maybe actually make up for some of the shit you've done. He doesn't use that terminology, but you get the point.
I was about to say, no, he was still very much Asgardian in this movie. Yeah.
And he basically says on no uncertain terms, if you betray me, just know that I won't look at you as a brother, and I'll kill you. Tells him right there on the spot. I think he's speaking purely out of emotion and not out of rationality, because I still don't think that Thor. I don't know if he'd actually do that.
Right, like Thor. I mean, he can definitely be threatening, but against his own brother, he's always had that soft spot. We've seen that before.
Yeah. And I feel like that Loki would definitely try to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And the Loki, he breaks Loki out, and as they're walking, Loki goes through.
Oh, this is awesome.
He goes through a gambit of disguises. First is as Guardian Guard.
Yeah,
and and
this was an appropriate comedy moment.
It was. Yeah. This was a really, really fun scene here. I loved it a lot. And then in one part he turns.
Loki needed this too.
Yeah. And then, in one part, he changes himself back from an Asgardian guard, and he changes Thor into Lady Sif. I was like, well, shit.
I know, right?
To make him look like Lady Sif, that is.
Yeah.
And then it goes, okay, well, how about changing to one of your newer comrades? How about this? And then he turns into freaking Captain America.
Which, by the way, Chris Evans here proved that he was the shit.
Oh, yeah.
He was a dude playing as another dude,
That's right. He
obtained that rank, up there with Robert Downey Jr. And it's just like, damn, he's got a pretty good Loki going for him.
Yeah. He does really well
in this short 1 minute scene for him. He's just like, okay, so I'm still Steve Rogers and I'm Loki. Got it. I can do that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can tell he had a lot of fun with this scene because he's never going to get the opportunity again to act as Captain America this silly. He's never going to get that chance again.
Well, how about we have a good intense lesson on, or a good intense conversation on heroism and patriotism.
And man, this costume is tight.
And this costume is really tight. Wow, but the confidence.
Yeah, the confidence.
I love America. And then just boom.
Yeah. This is a really fun scene.
Oh, yeah.
And shout out to Chris Evans for doing that cameo.
I know, right? He's good at cameos. Now, kids, make sure that you don't do any of this. Because redundancy is... It's like, okay.
Yeah. Remember patience.
Yep. Which was well done.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What are we doing?
The breakout scene here. So they get Loki out, and Thor's plan has a few holes in it. One is he wants to get on the ship that the Dark Elves left and fly it out. But Thor has no clue how to use the ship.
Nope. Doesn't fly.
Yep. Well,
I mean, he himself flies, but you're asking for a pilot license? That guy's like, what? No. Yeah. Touche.
And Sif and the Warriors 3, I really love them in this scene because the breakout scene, it really showcases Sif and the Warriors 3 and also the complexity between Loki and Thor's relationship. And so I really like that because also the Warriors 3 and Sif, they get a lot of action in this movie too.
They do. They do.
Yeah, and it's always great seeing them. They didn't get quite the same bravado and moments that they did in Thor 1, but they still get a good bit here in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate and much needed. By the way, I'm sure you noticed, but the actor for Fandral changed. It was Joshua Dallas in the first movie, and now here in Thor 2 is Zachary Levi, and so. They have this whole escape action scene here where they're on the flying sword ship, and
Loki's just got that great commentary back to back, dude.
Yeah,
just awesome. Yeah.
I mean, because I guess if you're Loki, what are you gonna say? If you escape, fine. If you get caught, whatever. I mean, all you gotta say is, "Look, my brother broke me out of jail." Yeah. I mean, for Loki, it can't get any worse.
Yeah. No.
So,
He was just saying funny stuff like,
Yeah.
brother, you chose to escape in the biggest, most obvious looking ship there is out here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, shut up, Loki.
Yeah. Eventually, Thor pushes Loki out of the plane. He and Jane hop out of the plane, and they hop on this little speedboat, and that's Guardian speedboat.
Yep.
And his fan draws on it, and they take the speedboat out, and Luke's like, "You lied to me, brother. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm impressed."
Yep." And as soon as they arrive on the Dark Elf's homeworld, and I had it written down somewhere, but it was this complicated ass name that I cannot pronounce. Maybe you can, so I can pull it up here.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say, what? I'm going to look it up too real quick.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. You see this S word right here?
Oh, yeah, shit. Yeah, that's the one. No, no, for real, though, shit. Vartalhem. Because I think the S is silent. Or is it Sartalhem, as in the V is silent? Because you can't pronounce both letters. Piss, I don't know, guys. That's a very cultural word. Obviously very Viking, but... Yeah. Like, I got nothing. It's like...
I just called it Svartalhem. Svartalhem. Yeah.
Svartalhem.
Yeah.
Ooh, try to say with that cool little rolly there.
I was about to say, like, I can say this: they did not have a Hispanic or Latino accent.
I wasn't trying to be Latino. All right,
the movie.
Svartalhem. So
once they arrive on the planet of the Dark Elves, as we'll call it.
Oh, the planet of no trees, because that whole place looked dead. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, so does every place except for Asgard and Midgard. It seems like. Because you think hell was hell.
Hell was hell. Literally, Asgard's like the only good kingdom out there.
Yeah. Jotunheim was just ice, and it was depressed ice giants. There are no more.
What about the other one, the Chinese one? The one at the beginning of the movie where they're having the fight? That looked livable.
Yeah, that was Vanaheim.
Yeah, that was livable.
Yeah, Vanaheim looked pretty cool. Yeah. Anyways, there's a pretty cool moment in line here that's spoken once Thor and Loki and Jane arrive here on this on the Dark Elf planet, and they have another argument, Thor and Loki, and it's another really good one because it really showcases where they're both coming from and how they're both feeling about everything right now.
Right.
And Loki or Thor basically says, like, just remember, I don't trust you, and I probably never will, And Loki says, "You don't have to trust me. Trust my rage." Yeah. I thought that was a great line.
That really is. Yeah.
Back on Earth, Darcy and Ian, the internship, they get Dr. Selvig out of the mental institution. Mm-hmm. Yep. And
yep, he's my uncle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Who was supposed to be Ian's dad, but how in the world this this guy that works here doesn't see through this facade. I have no idea.
Right, yeah. Well, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so they basically just break him out, just them showcasing to us that Dr. Selvig's out, and they get him in his weird instrument things that keep coming into play.
The sticks.
Yeah, the weird instrument sticks, and they go outside, and the birds are acting...
The quantum skewers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The science sticks is what I just called them.
Put the science stick in the yard.
Yeah. There's they go outside, and there's a group of birds acting really weird, and the birds disappear in the sky, and then they come up right where they're standing.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
Yeah. Damn birds.
Right there near the car park.
Yeah. So next up here, what do we have? So next up here there's pretty much a showcase between Melkith and his crew and Thor and his crew. Yeah. So what happens is Melkith,
his crew, himself, Loki, and Jane. Yeah,
that's his crew. That's his crew. We don't know. I guess Fandral just gets them to where they need to be and then goes back to Asgard.
Essentially, he put them near the gate, and then he like Sif did the whole "if you betray him" crap to Loki.
Yeah, Grim Hogan does it. No, Grim Hogan stayed on Vanaheim, but it was Fandral and Bostag. Yeah, they all and Sif they all do it. But anyways, Malekith, he's like they brought the ether here. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right, they save me some trouble.
Okay, guys. So the plan we just made on the ship, erase the middle of it.
Yeah, erase the middle of it. The part where we go back to Asgard, nah, scratch that.
Scratch that. We're cool. Go ahead and pop the bubbles. Get the bubbly out.
Right.
Yeah.
They go and I would say greet, but that's not the proper word. They go to where Thor and his crew are at, and then right off the bat here, Loki goes, "You're right to not trust me, brother," and stabs Thor in the gut. Thor is writhing in pain on the ground. He goes to summon Mjolnir, and as Mjolnir is coming towards Thor, Loki cuts the right hand off.
And notice they actually do some graphic bone.
Yeah,
like they show the actual inside of the wrist.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, okay, this is definitely dark. I like this. Cool.
Yeah.
Thor, Dark World. That's appropriate. Yes, I like it.
And it's like, well, shit. I remember before this movie came out, photos of one hand Chris Hemsworth were actually leaked online.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and people were freaking out about it. Like, wait, what? He loses a hand?
Well, now he lost an eye, and because of the tone of the movie, we're all like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah. He's like Odin now.
Right. Yeah.
Another difference.
Yep. Yeah. And so right at this point, it was kind of interesting though seeing Mjolnir, because Mjolnir goes to fly towards Thor. Thor gets the hand cut off, and then and I was like, so now what should happen here? Should Mjolnir fly towards the disembodied hand? Should it fly towards?
It just lands in the hand still.
Does it land inside the wrist socket now in Thor's arm, and he just has Mjolnir as a hand?
Yes. Oh shit! The way I imagined it, because I thought about that a little bit. It was like a quick microscopic thought almost when it happened in the movie. The way I saw it, when his hands are at rest, he's just conversing or whatever. He doesn't necessarily have Mjolnir flying to him until he actually does whatever he needs to do mentally to summon it, right? So at that point, it's like, oh, my mentality's gone because I have no hands now, and it's completely distracting my summoning of it. So all of a sudden, it's summoning, it's flying towards him, this great hammer. Then all of a sudden, the momentum is still there, but the summon's done. So it's like, oh, well, I guess I'm just a flying object now.
Yeah.
Douche.
Yeah. Because sometimes the Mjolnir seems almost sentient in the way that it behaves and flies towards Thor.
Yeah. He throws it, and then it naturally stops, and then comes back to him. Yeah. It's like, okay,
right.
You're an awesomely smart.
You are an extremely amazing hammer.
His axe wasn't.
Yarborn, or you mean it in Ragnarok?
Ragnarok, because that wasn't Yarborn.
That was not Yarborn.
It should have been, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Wait, he used swords.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't use an axe, did he?
Damn.
Yeah, there was definitely no Yarborn in that one. Anyways, once Thor's down for the count, Malekith is like, well, shit, this is way easier,
guys.
Than my
so
plan.
You saw the end of the plan.
Yeah,
you erased the middle, right? Erase the end now too.
You know what? Get out 2 bottles of the bubbly.
Shit. Hey, call the women from our planet too. Give them in the ship.
Sir, they're all dead. We have no more women. You killed them all, remember?
We're dark elves, sir. We're bad guys. Oh, okay.
Oh,
you're
okay,
right.
You're
right.
Okay.
Okay, excuse me. I have to continue being equal face.
Yep. And Curse explains to Malekith that this one was a prisoner, referring to Loki, and he doesn't like the Asgardians, and which gives Malekith even more of a reason to, I guess, trust the situation, and he telekinetically lifts up Jane and begins to summon the ether from her, which is a really cool scene, really cool visual.
It's like he as a dark elf had such a connection with this dark elf artifact that he was able, or excuse me, quote unquote dark elf artifact. He was able to actually control it from outside, which was like, oh shit, all right, freaking Phoenix's situation here. Just,
yeah. And once the aether is all but removed from Jane, Thor's like, fake out! And
he even Scrooge it, fake out!
It'd be great if he did.
I know, right? Because then like half the surprise would be wasted on that. Just
oh,
like,
yeah, exactly.
What? Oh, shit.
Yeah, so come to find out, it was all just an illusion trick. Thor and Loki had a plan. They're working together. Thor... Whoa. Yep, Thor has not been stabbed. His hand is still intact. He summons Mjolnir and he tries to shatter the ether. But like his grandfather before him, like King Bor said, it's too powerful to be destroyed. And indeed it was. The ether seems to be destroyed. It seems like it shatters and hits the ground.
Right. But it's like
it's like the bad guy from Terminator 2. It comes back together.
Yeah.
And then
which makes sense. You can't destroy reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, right? Oh shit, that's almost a philosophical thought. We can't go down that road.
Well, no, I was just thinking about Thanos. I'm like, has Thanos destroyed reality before? He's definitely done some shit to it. Yeah, but anyways.
Oh shit, never mind. I'm thinking too deep about it now. I might have just said something stupid.
Yep. Well, just on that side note, real quick, it's interesting because in the comics, as far as the Infinity Gems go, the Reality Stone is almost useless without the Time Stone. Like you kind of need the two, like because like you can't. It's hard to wield one without the other.
So in other words, you're changing reality constantly to make it a weapon, but then all of a sudden you need time to reverse that in order to control the weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I can imagine that. That makes sense.
All right.
Which in this movie, I guess we just got subpar reality to an extent.
Yeah. This is more like reality warping.
And I'll share more of my thoughts as we
get to that point.
See that. Yeah.
But yeah, so Malekith he summons the ether and he absorbs it this time. Plan kind of backfired. So good news. Jane,
good news, everyone.
Jane,
to Billy West out there.
Yep. Jane no longer has the ether in her, so that's not going to kill her. But I'm pretty sure that Malekith is, because he now has the ether.
Yeah.
And at this point, Malekith is like, I'm all powerful. Peace out, bitches. And so
I'm going for the bubbly.
Yeah, I'm going for the bubbly. I got what I wanted. Don't care about you guys, whatever. And so he leaves. Like, he doesn't even care to kill them. Like, because at this point, like, what are ants to this godlike being?
Yeah.
And so he goes to walk away back into this little weird spaceship. And at this point, Thor's like, no, son. Like, we're going to fight.
Yeah.
And he tries to intervene, but then he and Curse end up fighting as Loki's taking on some of the henchmen. So yeah, we got kind of two fights going on at once. Loki taking on the henchmen while Thor is fighting Curse. And Curse is a strong bitch.
Yeah.
He's strong as shit. So like Thor, he's giving it to him. He's duking it out. But yeah, like Malekith pretty much body slams him, hits him with a giant ass boulder first.
Yeah.
And then like house on top of him.
Wait, Malekith or Curse?
Curse, I'm sorry. Yeah. Curse hits him with a giant ass boulder because at this point Malekith's like, whatever, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And
I'll leave him to you.
Yeah. And Curse is on top of Thor and just whooping the shit out of him. Like he watched like some MMA ground and pound because this is what he does here. Yeah. Just
rocks pushing you into more rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this point, actually, right before this happens, before Thor's getting his ass completely whooped, Loki saves Jane, and then Thor saves Loki, like right afterwards. What'd you think about that scene there? About that part in particular.
It looked really good. It was confusing as an audience member because I did understand Loki in my definition of him as the god of chaos. So it's like, wait a minute, did he just break MO here? Like this is fascinating, artfully. It's making for a cool scene to watch, but it's kind of like, whoa, this is a lot of character change all of a sudden. Like, is he really that gun-ho for this plan that he kind of just says, oh, let me save everybody? Right. I didn't trust it. In other words,
it's like, I didn't... I didn't mind it, but I didn't understand the motive, like you said.
Right.
Like
yeah.
I didn't understand why he was, doing that. I mean, I guess as we'll go to talk on, maybe he needed that heroism, before the next part takes place.
Yeah, and you're right. I'll share my thoughts about that later on too, because I very much do believe in that. Yeah.
I don't think it was done out of any interest to actually save Jane Foster's life.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But so yeah, as Thor is getting his ass whooped by Curse, Loki comes in and he stabs Curse, tries to save his brother, and then Curse immediately picks up Loki and then stabs him,
like hugs him.
Yeah, because there's this giant blade like thing sticking through.
Yeah, Loki stabbed him with a sword.
Yeah, sticking through Curse, and then Curse picks up Loki, hugs him, causing the blade to go through Loki. Yeah, and
but then Loki's like, haha, it's on you, you fool. As he lay there dying and gasping. The grenade was attached the whole time.
Yeah, there's this weird...
the singularity grenade.
The singularity.
Which was super cool.
Oh, it was, yeah.
These guys had, by far, like, the coolest technology that I did not remember.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, singularity grenades? Rocket and Groot would cause some real shit with that.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
Man, I want a singularity grenade.
Right. So yeah, Loki's able to kill Curse, but Loki himself is also killed, quote unquote, right here. And there's a really, really touching and sad moment here between Thor and Loki, and because at this point Thor, it's like, damn, I'm losing everybody. Lost my mom, now just lost my brother, and so now Thor is extremely pissed. So because he lost his brother. So they're wandering the dark world here because they're kind of stuck,
right?
And but good
some
old
storm was developing. I think it looked like a cyclone or something.
Something like that. Yeah. But good old Richard called Jane, and she got reception.
Which at that point I remember in the audience just watching in theater for the first time, like, what the shit? I have a hard time getting reception in my own house.
Yeah.
Let alone a whole nother reality.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for the science reasons they were doing here, I guess it kind of made enough sense for me.
Right, scientifically, it's like, oh, this cave for some reason is in line with the whole convergence.
Yeah.
Thus, it's a direct link to Earth.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yep. And because of good old Richard, Jane and Thor were able to find their way back to Earth.
Yep.
And
with the car keys, ironically, which disappeared earlier.
Yeah, with the car keys that Darcy and Ian lost earlier in the movie. Yep. The next scene we get here is pretty subtle, but you can completely tell what's happening here. We're back on the Dark World, and we don't see this character completely, but we see like this green outline, and then we see a guard standing about the same spot where Loki died. And this Asgardian guard, how did he get here?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep. He goes back to Asgard. And he tells Odin that he doesn't know anything about where Thor is at, didn't see Thor, but there was a body found. It was Loki's body. And, of course, it was like, well, damn. So this is Loki up to his old tricks again. And, I appreciate the movie not thinking that we're so dumb to believe that Loki would actually be dead at this point.
Right, yeah. Like, they immediately resolved the doubt.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
At that point, I remember being confused on my second watching of it. Because I couldn't tell from the actual happenstance. I remembered it on purpose. The guard came up, like you said, and he presented to Odin, look, so we don't know where Thor or Jane are, but we found a body. And he didn't say anything else at that point. The guard, quote-unquote, guard, was done talking then. He didn't say a name. It was Odin who turned and said, Loki.
Yeah.
So at that point, I wasn't sure whether or not Odin was saying, yeah, that's Loki's body, okay. Or he was turning and seeing this guard impersonation for what it really was, noticing that it was really Loki. That was my thought in watching the scene. Like, I thought that was very intricate. Like, because then we see the guard do Tom Hiddleston's freaking smile, We see freaking Loki's smile right there.
Right.
And so it's like, oh, okay, what happened here?
Yeah.
Did he really believe Loki was dead? Or did we see him notice? Oh, you're disguised right now, Loki. What's going on? How you doing?
Yeah, that's a good theory.
Yeah.
I do think though that Odin thought his son Loki was dead.
Yeah.
It's because I think that that on any given day, if Odin is aware that Loki's up to some shit, I think that Odin shuts him down.
Right. At this point, I just want to highlight this. This is the last time we see Odin in the movie.
Yep. That it is.
Until
Ragnarok.
Well timed. Yeah, go you. Yeah. Go me. Go us. All right. What's next?
Yeah. So the next part I have here is when they're all inside. Is it Jane's apartment? Is it Darcy's apartment? They're all inside of an apartment.
Yes.
They're all inside somebody. I think they're inside Darcy's apartment because we see Darcy and Ian watching TV earlier, and it's just those two in there.
Okay.
And now it's Darcy, Ian, Dr. Selvig, Jane, and Thor. They're all inside the apartment, and Dr. Selvig immediately says, "Your brother isn't coming, is he?" And Thor goes, "No, he has died." And Dr. Selvig goes, "Oh, yes." And Thor gives him this look that says, "What the shit, man? My brother's dead." And then Dr. Selvig's like, I'm
so sorry. Yeah. Gives him a hug, smiles, and pulls away and goes, very serious face, like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, and Thor is he's so sometimes just naive. "Thank you."
Right, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And,
I mean, in the Doctor's position,
I don't blame Dr. Selvig at all. Not one bit.
Batman invaded my mind, made me crazy.
Yep.
Okay.
Almost got Earth completely destroyed. I mean, yeah. I don't blame Dr. Selvig.
Almost got shot by Black Widow because of this man.
Right.
Yeah. Nah.
Oh man. And so they're all talking, trying to figure out what's going to happen next, and they're like, well. Malekith has the ether now, so it's only a matter of time before he does. Evil villain plan A.
What's left of it?
Yeah. And
after they finish the bubble,
right? Yeah. They draw on this map and they figure out that he's going to be in Greenwich, and so that's where they need to get. That's where they need to be at. And as they're all leaving, it's really quick shot, but it was really funny. It made me laugh anyway, but it was really quick. As they're leaving, Thor grabs Mjolnir off the coat rack.
Right, yeah.
So that's where he would put Mjolnir.
I know. That's what it just hangs up.
Yeah.
And it sits there so well. Just not too heavy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess who knows how heavy it is, because it's not the heaviness that causes you not to be able to lift it.
It's gotta be what? More than 5,
well,
less than 10.
That's the thing. It's made out of Uru metal. How much does an ounce of Uru metal weigh?
Good point. It could be weightless in Thor's hands. Yeah. Because he's just like, let me spin this really fast. Right. No problem.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, Dr. Selvig goes, I think I should get my pants.
Yeah. He is, Dr. Selvig is completely pantless for the scene.
It helps him to think.
Yes. This is going to be my excuse from now on.
I know, right?
Yeah. I started taking these pants up for podcasts. It helps me to think more about the topic.
Nope. Put them on. Nope.
Now, for complete clarity, I need to be in the nude.
Oh, gosh. Now you're getting weird.
I didn't talk about raping anything.
Hey, I didn't talk about raping anything. I never used that word.
You don't have to use the word.
No,
you don't have to use the word.
No.
You said, and I quote, "I will force myself on a fire truck." No,
damn it.
And it will get stuck. And I said stuck.
Force into a fire truck.
You said, if I force myself on a fire truck and I get stuck.
We're going to argue about this later, damn it.
I think you can take out the word fire truck, and that's the definition.
No. We definitely won't. That's the only safe word in that sentence. It's a safety vehicle. But,
oh shit! Okay, all right. Moving on. My next note here is we're definitely late in the third act of the movie.
Yeah, actually, before we go on to that, let me identify this because I thought this was another plot hole the movie had. So, Dr. Not Crazy Head comes up, pantless and everything, and says, "Look, the old times, the ancestors, these great wonders of the world, they've really shown us, they've built these things as a map." And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so they're kind of a map like the Great Wall of China, the Egyptian pyramids, the Stonehenge.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, so all this is apparently a map. But then it's like, well, what map did he use? When he pulls up the map the first time, it looked like if you're looking down on Earth from on top of it, rather than out in outer space, and you see like the typical mapping we always see in school, where it's like North America on the west and Asia over here, Europe in the middle somewhere. It wasn't like that at all. It was like a whole aerial vision map. But then the things he highlighted, one, what map did he use? Obviously said that. Two, where the hell did he get the idea that these things needed to be connected in such a way? Like, how did he know this over here needs to draw through to go to that over there, and this to that, you know?
Yep.
Why couldn't Stonehenge go directly down, not across the Greenwich, down to the Egyptian pyramids?
Yep.
Or, yeah, like, what's going on here?
I applaud you for your brain thought on the matter.
Thank
because, ironically enough, my next note here says, I'm still not sure what the hell is happening. I don't know what the ether is or why the dark elves are doing what they do.
Right.
And so I definitely didn't have the brain power to come to a conclusion as to how Dr. Selvig came to his conclusion.
Right, because at that point it was just like, oh, it's in this city because reasons.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like, oh, because I drew lines on a map and all of a sudden this has to be it because there's no other way to connect four.
Right. Yeah, it has to be right here in this very spot. I mean, I don't know. But the one thing about this movie, the entire movie plays really fast and loose with science and how things happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that Alan Taylor assumes that most of the audience is like me, and they're like, I have no idea what you just said, but I'm going to roll with it.
Exactly. Like, I don't really care about that point. Let me see what happens next.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, in the moment, I remember thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
but
you know,
in retrospect,
it's not like this movie is like, you know, Inception or what's the space one?
Oh, Interstellar.
Yeah.
That was good.
I mean, because like if the science is fast and loose and Inception, then it'll have, you know, then it deserves to be, you know, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
But in the realms of this movie, with obviously, you know, fictional comic book things, then I think that, you know, you can give it a pass.
In this moment, we kind of have to, because it's like, oh, well, I guess we're going to Greenwich.
Right. Now, the only time that I really start to point fingers is when things within the comic book realm don't make sense, because I don't know science, like I said earlier, but I do know the comic book realm.
Like Thor all of a sudden just gives a hammer to Jane and says, here, hold this real quick.
Yes.
I need to go do this.
Yes.
At that point, it's like, well, what?
Become Lady Thor now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, never mind.
Yeah, so the next thing we get here is the Thor and the Malekith fight. And I have here in my notes that this may actually be the best Thor fight.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was one, friggin' awesome to watch, and two, it even somehow was so well choreographed that they had appropriate, cool comedy moments, which are genuinely funny.
Yeah. They did, like, and this is a long fight. It wasn't like it was like a quick, you know, 90-second fight. No, this was lengthy. It was meaty, and I thought about it, and because when I wrote this down, I said I really do think that this is the best Thor fight, and I was like, well, let me think about this. In Thor 1, he fights the Destroyer. It's really quickly done.
Yeah.
Thor kind of has his way with it. Then he fights Loki, but Loki really doesn't stand a chance.
Right, no.
And then in Avengers, he fights a bunch of Chitauri.
Which, you know, one and dones.
Yeah. And now we're here. Like, this is the first opponent we see Thor fight we do see the Thor and Hulk fight, which was good, but had no real resolution.
Right, yeah.
It had no real resolution, and, you know, it didn't go that long, but it was fun to watch, but, you know, but this fight right here was meaty. It had length. It had, like, and we just get to see these two beat the hell out of each other. Like, this is the first opponent besides Hulk that we see Thor fight that can withstand his power and dish it out himself. And,
for sure.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It was definitely one of his better fight scenes ever.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no, his best.
This is best fight scene ever. Yeah. Because the fight scene with Hulk and Ragnarok, I think I like this fight in Avengers 1 more, to be honest. With Hulk.
Okay.
I mean, the fight on Ragnarok didn't It was fun, but I mean, once again, like the tone just didn't match. Like when Thor and Hulk fight, it needs to be like oh shit, this
like
is a
unstoppable
thing.
meets immovable.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be
comic relief meets fist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
plus in this fight, talking about comedy a little bit, I loved how the hell they still made it to be a great fight scene, but with actual funny moments, because they both were still kind of getting used to the power set of the whole matter and reality changing constantly. So all of a sudden they're fighting, and boom, they're dropping, sliding on a glass window. Yeah. And my favorite part of that, not just the sliding, which was funny, because you see even the Dark Elf was all stoic and serious the whole movie, just kind of going, like, trying to climb up this glass for a second. They're still sliding.
Right, it was great, yeah.
But then my favorite part of that lasted just half a second, where they're dropping. No, they're dropping, like, past the glass. They're done sliding and they're dropping down now, and you just hear a really faint whoa in the background, and the lady's like typing at the computer, just turns around real quick, and it's already done. It was that quick. Like, that was my favorite.
That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, this entire fight I thought was great. Like, I love the part because they're just going from place to place because this ether is just taking them everywhere. They wind up on Jotunheim where there's no more ice giants because they're all dead now. But that same ice giant guard dog that was in Thor 1 comes back out.
Yep.
And then he gets transported to Earth and starts tearing shit up. And then, like, also the part where what you said about them sliding down that glass building, like, I love they're sliding down and Thor goes to summon Mjolnir, but then they get transported again, and Mjolnir just kind of flies up, and it's like, well, what the shit, guys? Where
am I going?
Where am I going, bro? Where am I going, Thor? What do you want me to do?
I love how you personified it to be just like an angry bro. Like, what do you want me to do, man? What's the plan?
Yeah, what's the plan of attack here, bro? Like, you call me, I come, then you're not there.
Poor Mjolnir's just like, wah, like zigzagging.
Mjolnir's flying all over the universe, bro.
She's like, oh shit, well, gotta go back into space.
Oh, shit. But it was a really fun fight. And also the part where, like, when they finally get separated in the fight, and Thor has to get on the subway.
Yeah.
And, like, the reason,
that was funny.
Yes, and the reason why the scene was so good is because from Thor's perspective, he's being extremely serious. How many stops? Where do I have to go to get to Greenwich? 3 stops. All right. Because, I mean, for Thor, you know, it is what it is. But for us, it's hilarious watching this god have to take the subway.
I don't think he could have done the same thing in Ragnarok. No. Because he would have been too not Thor. But whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. So moving on here.
The best part of that, though, was the fake fall. Oh, I'm so sorry. Copping a feel on his chest. Yeah. It's like, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
And he's just like smiling about it too, like, oh.
Yeah.
She digs the Thor.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. Oh man. So I have here, and they're finally able to beat Malekith. But I'm not sure how they did it.
No. Just they decided science skewers.
Yeah, they threw the science sticks at Malekith and like transported his body at first, like one body part at a time, back to the Dark World, and then like they were able to eventually separate his body from the ether with the science sticks.
Which okay, I guess like the one science stick that actually poked him, the third one, was apparently enough of a puncture and accuracy to do that. I mean, I'm trying to explain something I don't fully understand. Like, oh, you pierced me in the right spot. Now you're just able to hit just the ether and not like my entire torso.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, so Malekith, he gets separated from the ether. The ether stays on Earth, I think, and Malekith gets teleported back to the Dark World where he comes from. And if you notice, we gave up trying to pronounce the name of the actual planet. We just call it the Dark World now. What Kevin said.
Very much so.
Oh no, it's Solalaheim. Remember?
Oh, that's right. It has to have that sound to the end of it. Solalaheim. Kind of wait to have this discussion with some fan in the future who's just like, oh, so in the world of Solheim, like, what? We coined the term!
Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh, yes, right. Let's write the Marvel editors. They're going to have to change the name of it.
Yes. Solheim. Like that.
Oh shit! Anyways, let's
it's too
go ahead.
late, man. Yeah. Our brains are getting.
Let's
fried.
wrap this up. Let's wrap this movie up. So the giant spaceship that Malekith came in on also gets teleported back to his home world, and it lands on him as luck would have it. It could have landed anywhere on the planet. It landed on Malekith. That is
Wasn't
bad
he
luck.
actually like in it?
No, he was on the ground, and then he got teleported, and the spaceship landed on him.
Which one and done villain?
Yep, he's one and done.
Yep.
So yeah, the next scene we get is they fast forward a little bit of time, probably not a lot, but at least a little bit, and it's a breakfast scene. There's the crew. I guess they're all back in Darcy's apartment and they're having breakfast. Yeah, and everybody's really quiet and awkward, and and
it's like falafel all over again.
Yeah.
Just.
And they eventually bring up Thor. It's like, well, the last time he disappeared, he was gone for 2 years, and just like, yeah, but it's only been 2 days. He can still come back soon. Like, she's holding out hope for this guy who she has like a crazy crush on still. Like she's mad about Thor.
Well, dude, try to understand her situation, man. I mean, she fell in love, and in turn, he fell in love with her. But her love was a god.
Yeah.
She's never going to go better than that.
Yeah.
Everyone else she meets in comparison is always going to be, oh, but you're not a god.
Yeah, everyone else she meets is going to be Richard.
Exactly. She's just going to have a line of Richards who are just going to be crazy for her, and she's going to be like, you're cool, you're good. Yeah. But my last one was a god.
Yeah, and this got me thinking, like, this relationship is a lot like Superman and Lois, like, it shouldn't work.
No, it shouldn't.
Like, I mean, the first time that y'all have sex is gonna be also be your last time.
It's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be like a lot of exploration just to see like what works. And I'm not trying to be dirty. I'm just trying to actually be technical.
Yeah, like, because like all the physiology can be the same.
Wow, that got weird. I never thought about Superman's junk.
Yeah. Well, there was one issue in particular. I don't know if it was a one and done issue, or if it was a continued thing. But it was
someone
addressed
Superman. This problem.
Yeah. It was Superman and Lois, and I guess like this is the first time I'm about to get down. And I can't tell you guys if this was canon. I can't even tell you guys what comic it came from.
Let's assume it's not. Yeah. Just for the sake of
the podcast, we'll say it's not. But Superman and Lois were about to get it on, and Superman takes his pants off, and Lois freaks the fuck out, and she's like, "What is that?" And Superman goes, "Well, you didn't know that my people had pincers." So apparently, in at least this comic, Superman's dick had like pincers on it. Like I think like maybe like an ant's mouth. I don't know.
Let's assume that's not canon for sure. Yeah.
My point is, we don't know what Thor's dick looks like, so. We don't know the Asgardian feet. We don't know what maybe they do like a ritual for birth. I mean, if you have people that live 5,000 years old, like the birth rate can't be that high.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There weren't a lot of children in Asgard.
There were not. No, there really aren't. Indeed. We don't see any kids in Asgard, as a matter. Like I think in Ragnarok we do.
Yeah, Ragnarok we see like an actual civilization.
Yeah.
This a couple times no.
Yeah. But anyways, my whole point though is that like just the overall strength of these guys would literally rip through these women.
Right.
Like even if they did have complete human physiology.
Yeah.
Like they would just demolish these women. Because they're still guys, so it's not like they're gonna be. I mean, they're gonna try to start off keeping you safe, but as soon as they get into it, you're done for.
Basically, yeah. But no, and that's to say, stepping back into the original topic there, that there's no way these relationships would work as well as normal ass relationships do. Yeah.
Hell, most normal relationships don't work.
That's true. That's so sad. Oh shit. Anyway. We hope yours works, listener. We hope it does.
We do. So back to the movie here. then there's the scene between Thor and quote unquote Odin, where Thor is basically claiming that, Father, I'm not ready for the throne yet. It has nothing to do with Jane, but actually it does have everything to do with Jane.
Yeah.
He goes, I do want to be king, but more than that, I want to be a man who can fight for the people, and I can't fight from the throne. And so that was a really good point.
Yeah.
So basically, he says that I don't want to be king right now. He's the opposite of Simba. He can wait to be king.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Now the song stuck in my head. Damn it.
Oh man. So anyways, Odin's like, well, I now have a dilemma, and I think he slips up here because he goes, I have one son who wants to be king too much, and one son who doesn't want to be king at all. He says it like he still has 2 children.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
So that was interesting. But I thought that overall, because this is Loki, by the way, people. It's not really Odin,
right? As we obviously see in just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you think that he did? Did you think that he did anything that wasn't really Odin-like here in this scene, or do you think that he was?
I thought his Odin was strong.
Yeah, I thought so too.
He's definitely a master of deception. In this case, he definitely did well enough to fool Thor.
Right. I think he wanted to give Thor what he wanted, especially since that means Thor is going to be out of the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not really sure if Odin would have gone for that or not. I don't know.
No, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Odin would have fought.
Yeah.
In this case,
I think Odin would have said, "Look, son, I'm 4,998 years old. I don't have much time left here."
Okay, Dad. Actually, wait. Ragnarok came out last year, so add. Oh no, 4,996 years old.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah. Right.
Well, he lived a little bit longer than the normal Asgardians. How about that?
That's true. He definitely was older, more white in the hair. Yeah. Just getting gray there. Yeah.
But yeah, so as soon as Thor leaves, we see that nope, it is not Odin. It is indeed Loki. He is indeed the god of mischief.
There is one thing, just from a retrospective point of view here. When do we actually just see Odin sitting his ass down? We've always seen him walking around, being near the people.
Yeah. I think in the beginning of Thor 1, we see him sitting on his throne.
But that's because it's a ceremony. Like, everyone's in the hall with him.
Yeah.
That's where all the people are. Here, he's just like, oh, well, I guess we'll just chill in my room by myself here.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so it's like...
He takes a long nap in Thor 1.
Okay. Even then, he wasn't alone. He couldn't get alone. They would only leave him alone.
Yeah.
He'd have healers and not doctors near him.
Yeah.
But
let's go to these post-credit scenes here, because the actual last scene of the movie is the reveal that Odin is not Odin, it's actually Loki.
Dun dun dun.
And the first post-credit scene is Sif and Volstagg. They visit the Collector, played by Benicio del Toro, and they give him the ether. And like you said earlier, it's when they, the Collector asked them, so why don't you want to keep it in Odin's treasure room? And, they're like, well, we don't think it's safe to have 2 of these things here.
Yeah, we already have the Tesseract.
Yeah, we already have the Tesseract.
Which they're including to be one of the 6 gems, whatever.
Well, I mean, because technically Odin also at the time we assumed that he had an Infinity Gauntlet there as well. So you can assume that Odin definitely knows the use for these things.
Yeah.
So.
Which apparently was a fake.
Yeah, it was a fake. Yeah, which was it was a clever enough write around for Marvel to get themselves out of, because the original theory that I heard was that Marvel was going to have 2 Infinity Gauntlets in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They were going to have Thanos have one, and then I suppose someone else is going to have the other.
Well, hopefully
I guess to battle Thanos. And I guess that they realized that was a shitty idea.
Yeah,
and they needed to scrap it.
Because then it's like, well, how do you get gems in the other gauntlet?
Well, I mean, I think there's going to be like a race to see who can get the most. Like,
that would have been a cool story, to be honest. But not the story I wanted to see.
Yeah, me either. I want to see how they're able to overcome this all powerful god-like being.
Yep.
And we know
in his new jumpsuit.
Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Thanos.
Someone throw him a beer. Beer him.
he summons his own beer.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. So yeah, as soon as Sif and Bostag leave, the Collector says something that almost makes him seem like a bad guy of sorts. He goes, 1 down, 5 to go. And it's the way he says it, you know?
Right, yeah.
I mean, which, honestly, like, in this universe, the Collector, he's really not a bad or a good guy. He's just a collector.
Right. A creepy one at that, but a collector, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. And at this point, there was a symbolism. There was a clever line that Sif said, which definitely highlighted the fact that the Collector wasn't the best character, but probably wasn't a full-on villain either. Sif was talking about how we already have the Tesseract. We don't need another power gem in our vicinity. We need to get this one and separate it. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Collector, you know, as we know from Guardians 1, he gets the power gem. Yeah. It's officially his second of the Infinity Stones.
And we don't see him get that, do we? He just has it.
What, the power gem?
Yeah.
No. Like, they bring it to him, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. I can't touch this, but this is amazing. I'm keeping this.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember now. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Guardians 1.
Yeah.
We're going to have to catch up on that soon enough here.
Yeah, that's next Wednesday, right?
No. Next Wednesday is Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah. What the shit, yes.
How dare you forget?
I mean, how dare you? I forgot the order of operations, not the movie. Anyways.
But so the second post-credit scene is we go back to Earth in Darcy's apartment, and it's after breakfast because they're all washing dishes and stuff. They're still really awkward and quiet, and then they hear this loud noise. They look out the window and they see the Bifrost Bridge opening, and Jane knows what that means, so she runs outside, and she's like a kid on Christmas morning, the look on her face. And I thought it would have been hilarious if it was anyone else but Thor.
Yeah, just like a guard. Thor says he can't come back.
Yeah, that would be great.
He's too busy going to hell.
That would be so great if it was just a guard that says, yeah, Thor can't come back right now. He wanted me to tell you. Yeah. That would have been great. But no, it was actual Thor. He comes down and the two celebrate. I think they kiss or something.
Sure.
Yeah. And, but I did completely forget that this movie leaves off with Thor on Earth.
Right. Yeah. Which, was kind of interesting. Like, so I guess he got bored of Earth life and said, hey, let me go fight something from hell.
Well, no, because next time we see him was in Age of Ultron, remember?
Never mind. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I'm skipping.
Yeah. And then also to end this post-credit scene, that big-ass frost giant guard dog is still out there wrecking shit.
Who knows what things are today?
Well, I think it was either in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or one of the Marvel one-shots. I think they finally get it.
Okay. Yeah. Who's they? Who gets it?
Someone I don't remember. I don't remember. But
some kid tamed it. It's just like
it's some kid's pet.
I know, right?
How do you feed that thing?
Like what do you feed it? Yeah. Metal? Can it just chew through some old sheds? Because when we saw it, it was in like that it was freight in that
yard. The same freight yard that we've been visiting throughout the movie. Yeah.
So somewhere in Europe, there's this big ass like ice dog from some other world.
I just assume that like as soon as like any authority sees that, they're like, we should call one or all of the Avengers immediately.
Actually, at that point, I would have been like, I get off in an hour. I'm gonna ignore this. Yeah,
this is not gonna be my problem.
Do you have enough bullet for this? Like, check the clip real quick. I only have 17 here, man.
That's not enough.
Nope. I'm gonna put this away and go on my merry way. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna talk about the overall good and bad here.
Sure.
This movie. So for the good, I thought that the movie had some of the best character work here. Like if it hasn't been improved, then it's been continued on. So I don't think that any of the characters' development lessened. It only grew or stayed the same, which isn't a bad thing,
Right. The only ones that are debatably like different for that would be the Warriors 3, which in which case we see in each of the Thor movies, it's like Thor 1, awesome. Thor 2, still pretty awesome. A little less appearance, and then, less.
Yeah, and Thor 1, they had a prominent part in the main plot.
Right.
And, in this one, they played their biggest parts in the opening scene on Vanaheim, and then for the breakout scene, they did a lot of fighting and action there too, and helping Thor.
Right.
And so they still pretty much show that they're, friends with Thor.
Yeah.
And that he's their closest allies.
They were Team Thor.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, everyone else in that movie definitely had exponential growth.
Yeah.
Each individual character I felt like was awesome.
I think Jane did. I think even for what it's worth, Darcy had some.
Yeah, if not a makeout buddy.
Yeah, she had a makeout buddy in Ian.
The makeout intern.
Yeah. I thought that the action was good, and I thought it was evenly paced throughout the movie as well.
Sure.
You know, so it wasn't like there were any. To me, it didn't suffer from the. From the drag effect of Thor 1, like there wasn't that lull in the middle of the movie that Thor 1 kind of had.
Yeah.
So the movie I thought was more evenly paced, and that the action was really crisp and cool all throughout.
Yeah.
Where the movie drags is the main central plot and villain, unfortunately.
Yeah, that part there's loopholes, there's shallowness of villainy going on. Just like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, the kind of shooting from the hip with the science and with the and with the overall plot.
Right, it's like, oh, there's a loophole in our plot because science.
Yeah,
and it's
and if it's not because science, it's because magic. So
it's like they're just playing ping pong between the two reasons.
Right, yeah. So there's a lot of that really just doesn't make the movie cohesive. Like if they had that, if they had Malekith like as a more understandable and more layered villain, then I think that would have been great. Because Chris Eccleston is definitely a good enough actor to fill that role. I mean, there were times of the movie, like, he never phoned it in. I never got that from him. Right. But there were times throughout his performance where I could tell that he wished there was more for him to do.
Right. At least more character to divulge.
Yeah. Tell us more about the character of Malekith.
Yeah, like, why is darkness good for your people?
Right, yeah. I mean, like, show us something else. Like, because the movie starts, the very first thing, King Bor fought the Dark Elves because they're evil.
Yeah, like, okay.
All right,
well, why,
Yeah, like, imagine that, like, if the history textbook said, we helped fight Hitler because Hitler was evil. Well, we need to discuss why.
Exactly. You can't just tell me this and expect me to roll over with it.
Yeah. So to me, that was the biggest drawback of this particular movie.
I will go back to complimenting it, though, because it does deserve the statement, the comedy was not oversaturated at all. Yeah. Like, it was good quality stuff. Like, they didn't try to throw too many jokes at us. Right. It was appropriately placed. It was good.
I agree. Yeah, the comedy was definitely evenly spread out and appropriate. Yeah. The characters didn't suffer because of the comedy, and for what it's worth, the plot didn't suffer because of comedy. The movie, I thought, I thought the movie did really well with that. It had really good balancing. Yeah. I love also that they kind of left the mystery for us to figure out what happened to Odin.
Right, that was good.
Because at this point we didn't know. Yeah. Love the cameo by Chris Evans. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good with the movie. It's just unfortunate that the bad is a pretty big misstep because it's a big part of the movie. With your villain and with your main plot.
Right.
With all that being said, though, I did really enjoy this movie. Yeah. The metaphor that I told myself when I finished watching the movie was that I feel like if this movie had 5 gears, I feel like at times it hit 4. It never shifted down or up. It just kind of stayed there.
Right. It coasted.
Yeah. For better or for worse, it coasted at a good pace. Mm-hmm. I mean, overall, like I said, I thought, a really fun movie. To me, it's not quite as good as Thor 1.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go off the rails like Ragnarok. I gave it a slightly better... I realized this after the fact, by the way, so I don't think that I consciously made this decision. I realized that after I scored it, I had given it a slightly better score than what I gave Ragnarok. I gave this movie a 7.6 out of 10.
Not bad. I was thinking 7.8.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So yeah, that's our Thor 2 review, guys. And we hope that you guys enjoyed that. It is now 2 minutes to midnight here.
Oh, another.
Yeah, like we said, we started. It was almost 10 o'clock, and I hope that this podcast made you feel a little bit better about your day. I think I feel a little bit better as well.
I did until you reminded me.
Well, hey, think of it this way. I had to get up in 6 hours and go to work for 11.
Yeah.
So there's that. But, yeah. But just to give you guys an update on things to come here, so this coming Sunday we'll be doing our review of Punisher, specifically Punisher from the new Netflix TV series. We'll be reviewing that series as a whole, and we'll be having a guest with us as well. If you guys remember Caleb, he was on the Justice League preview podcast. He's going to be back to join us for that one, so it's going to be real fun. It's going to be a really, really fun podcast. I'm glad that I'm going to have Kevin and Caleb here because reviewing a freaking TV show in one sitting,
right?
It's gonna be new for all of us for sure, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, and be sure to check that out, guys.
Yeah. Gonna be a lot of good content to talk.
Oh
about,
yeah. There's gonna be like multiple viewpoints for sure, and that's what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And then of course this next Wednesday we will be continuing our review of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Kevin has me second guessing myself here. I'm pretty sure it's Winter Soldier, and it should be Winter Soldier. So now we're both.
I know, right? We're both just like turning to technology.
Yeah, like oh shit, wait, is it Winter Soldier? Let's see. Yes, I'm correct. It's Winter Soldier. Then it's Guardians.
Okay. Wait, how did you find it so quickly? I'm still typing.
Picture.
Yeah, the picture.
Yep.
With the picture, I'm gonna copy and like throw the picture away. That's so weird that they put that cutscene at the end of Thor, right? Then have Winter Soldier in between. You know, like what?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's weird.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this evening. And hope that you guys enjoyed this as much as we did. Had a great time doing this one. And as always, guys, if you like what you hear, then, please do yourselves a favor and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to do us a favor, then please leave us a review on iTunes. That does help us out greatly, guys.
Very much so. And again, please tell your friends. Let's grow the population out and have others enjoying these moments with us.
Yeah, exactly. Help us grow and continue to flourish this thing. We love podcasting. Hope you guys enjoy listening to it. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, hit us up at superherohomes@gmail.com. And if you want to leave us a little comment on the Facebook page, as always, you can leave us a comment there at Superhero Homies on Facebook. And as always, guys, my name is Quentin.
I am Kevin, son of
we'll see you guys later.
The